you can't even imagine how much it's affected so many people.
The friend group has split apart.
Sorry, it's just still hard for me to talk about.
I didn't know that was humanly possible.
I was just very confused after that day, honestly.
I don't know why he did what he did.
I mean, you're asking about what happened third semester?
Is that what this is about?
Yeah.
I'm Titus Pinkney, and I'm a PR major here on campus. I'm a junior.
I'm Andrew Winfield. I'm a nursing major. I'm going into my junior year, just starting my junior year.
So my name is True Ashley. I'm a PR major, and I'm going into my junior year of college here at C of O.
My name's Andrew Ferkel. College has been rough.
Hi, I'm Anthony Allen. My friends know me as Antoine. I'm a graphic design major. I'll be going into my junior year.
I'm Jacob Jackson. I am an elementary ed major here at the college, and I'm going into my junior year. I'm pretty excited about it.
I'm from St. Charles. My major is communications. Why did I come to C of O? Because it was free.
Well, as you can see from my shirt, I'm a conservation and wildlife major. I came because my dad's a park ranger. So I've always grown up around the woods and stuff.
How like adjusting from high school to college, I would say I went pretty good, like far as like how I was socially, and just because like I was kind of like nervous to like make friends and stuff.
Transition to school really was really easy. I made friends pretty quickly. I think I met Phoenix and Ferkel both within the first couple of weeks of school. We went cliff jumping together, and then through them and classes, we ended up hanging out together a lot. And I met Jacob through that. We had watched a lot of movies together. So I was kind of like there at the beginning of the friend group.
Going into college, before I actually traveled in an RV.
Trying to think back, it wasn't always as difficult. Maybe the first year was a little bit better. Had a decent group of friends. We enjoyed each other's company. I think even had some good times.
So moving into college, I was kind of worried. I didn't know anyone from Missouri at all.
Probably are, it's just a little hard to make friends in certain situations, and for me, throughout, public school, it was just a little hard to make friends and getting adjusted to environments around me. And definitely that first day, stepping into the dorm and seeing everybody, get checked in and meeting all these new people, their roommates, and all these different people, it was a little overwhelming.
It's been interesting.
I love animals. I'm looking to use that in the future to really help people and help animals and really protect our wildlife.
Like all my friends, like in high school, was like people that like I knew my whole life. My mom, she really wasn't worried about me making friends, and I kind of see that now because I made friends pretty quick, and about like 10 or 12 guys. Of course, you know this.
Eventually, actually. Started to meet some really cool group of friends, and they really kind of just introduced me and just allowed me just come in and hang out with them. And it was really awesome just to like see them grow and then just have some guys like to support you behind you.
Luckily, I had a lot of good friends eventually in the CAF. Eventually that turned into more friendships and kind of grew into this group. Kind of got me into this group and hanging out with these guys all the time.
So who's this?
Yeah, so this is my friend group right here. We met during the first semester, and we've all been super close since then. I mean, we've had some crazy times in the past couple of years.
Can you kind of explain what happened that third semester?
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable with it, it's fine.
No, yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about the incident that third semester?
I'd rather not.
The incident.
If you feel too uncomfortable, it's fine.
What?
Yeah, the incident.
I can't talk about it anymore.
Really just that third semester. I don't even really know how to talk about it still.
Yeah.
We all just kind of wanted to hang out the way I remember it. But honestly, the events leading up to that moment, they were semi-normal, and I think of it kind of as a blur because of just, I don't know, the horrible stuff that happened.
It's kind of in my room. I just finished assignment, I was getting ready to call it for the night, and I don't really know exactly how it went down or why things turned out the way they did that way.
First off, I just want to say I'm sorry that I stormed out at the last interview. I just really wasn't ready to deal with all those past emotions, and I was just kind of being closed off. But I think that I'm ready to talk about everything that went down that day.
Just watching my roommate, someone that I'm around every day, someone that I care for a lot. It was so hard.
I can try to piece some of it together. There I was with everybody. I guess it was just a really crazy time, and I just remember looking at Furkel earlier that day and just knowing that there was just something off about him, and there was something off about Isaac as well that day.
Seemed like a regular day. Had no idea what was going to happen. Oh man, if I had known. I wish I could have changed things.
All got up together until we met up in the lounge, and we had been having a great night, just enjoying company of each other, still getting to know one another. But when we all met up later after that, that was when it really took a turn for the worst.
All hanging out in the Kels lounge, playing some Magic, or I don't even remember what game we were playing. You know how the friend group usually gets, though. We just get into like these little kicks of games and stuff. So we're all hanging out there. Everybody's there. Everybody's present. I think True was in his room, though, for some reason. I don't know why, but he ended up coming up to Isaac's room later with us when we said we were not really done hanging out with each other, so we just went up to the room.
I just remember I was just on my phone. I was watching my my Charmander evolve into a Charmeleon on my Pokemon Go game, and I look up and
But I was kind of not really present in that moment because I was in the process of talking to this girl and really wasn't really focused on what was really happening in the phone group. And now that I think back to it, I do remember like Granado like kind of pestering Ferkel a lot that evening. We knew that Granado had this obsession with Cabbage because he's always like in the cafe, he's like, ooh, Cabbage today, you know, stuff like that. So we're like, okay, that's like his thing or whatever. But this time he was really pestering Ferkel about it. And he was like, hey, Ferkel, you want some cabbage? Do you know like how cabbage tastes? Have you ever tried it? Are you like too scared?
While we're all together, he went over to his fridge and he reached in there and grabbed one of these cabbages out of his fridge. And sorry, it's just still hard for me to talk about.
And Ferkel's like, no, I just don't like it. And so Granado went to his fridge, and Granado, the only thing in Granado and Garrick's fridge is that bottle of barbecue sauce. So I was really surprised to see like a full head of cabbage just sitting in there. How long it's been there? I don't know. It could have been there weeks.
All of a sudden, there it was, a ball of cabbage.
He took the cabbage and he, like, in his hand, he was grasping it tightly and walked back into the circle, the middle of the circle where we were all talking in the dorm.
But he just takes it, he takes a big old bite out of it, and then he just like looks at Ferkel dead in the eyes, and he's like, you're gonna eat this.
And made direct eye contact. And he asked me if I wanted some of the cabbage. And I had heard stories of things like this happening to other people. But when it happened to me, I just didn't know how to like relate that. And so I was frozen in place, and he kept asking that and asking that and asking that, and I didn't know how to respond, but eventually he came over to me.
All of a sudden I just hear this like unhuman like scream kind of like belch out of Granado. It was like a demon had literally like took control over his body.
Oh, my poor roommate, my best friend, just getting mutilated by a vegetable.
And I look up and I just see Isaac shoving cabbage down Andrew Ferkel's face.
And he just like went full force just straight into Ferkel's face over and over. It was like 3 or 4 times. And by like the 3rd hit, Ferkel is out.
It was a blur. Somewhere in him shoving it into my mouth, I just kind of just detached from reality.
What could I do? I just sat there. I had to post this post. It was like prime time to post this.
What to do? I just watched it happen.
I was in awe, and honestly, my instincts kicked in, my fight or flight, you know, and I just jumped into action.
Jacob, bless his little heart, he jumped on Granado's back, and he was like, just kind of had like his hands around his neck.
I just started pulling him away. I can tell in the moment he was freaking out. Yeah, he was freaking out real good, and I did end up with several black eyes later that day.
I've never seen it before. It's like something out of like you would see out of a movie or something. But it's just like Granado got that like second strength, and like kind of like how Popeye does whenever he like eats spinach or whatever.
He just had this weird look in his eye, and I just remember him hitting me and punching me. And
Jacob, like, even though like he had like a lot of courage in that moment, it took like 2 hits and then he was like out.
I just get this one hit to my head that just knocks me out.
He had, I guess, finished with Ferkel. He looks at me, knowing that I absolutely hate cabbage. And knowing that I'm doing some important business on my phone, like, obviously I don't want to be a part of this. And then he goes right for it.
Garrick, I think just knowing his roommate, he definitely realized that, okay, Granado's not himself, like something is definitely up. So after Jacob's body kind of fell into like this lifeless heap on the floor, Garrick and Isaac immediately got on his got him by his arms, was pulling him back, and they fell down to the ground. And at this point, I'm literally just sobbing over in the corner because I don't know what to do.
I moved over to the corner to stay out of the way, and I just watched. Somehow he didn't see me. That's the part I don't really understand, is he just didn't seem to know I was there, which I didn't really think was a big deal at the time, but now I think about it, and just such a blessing that he didn't even see me.
I don't know, I was just really scared because at this point, Ferkel and Jacob were just like in the lifeless heaps on the floor.
And I'll forever be regretful that I didn't jump in and help.
And I saw Isaac and Garrick just trying to like wrestle him back. But like I said, like Granado was like, he was just like a different, I wouldn't even call him a human being at that point. It was literally a demon had taken control of his body and nobody knew what the hell was going on. I don't know about Garrick, but Isaac is like extremely strong. And he was like pulling so hard, and it's just like Granado just like, you wouldn't really think of Granado as like a strong guy, just like kind of looking at him, but I think that demon presence inside of him just really like unleashed his like inner beast, and they're both like fighting him back, and like I said, it was just like that unhuman like screech just kind of came out of the back of Isaac's throat, and he just like got him, just pulled them straight together, and like they just like hit heads, and they just collapsed into the floor. So now 4 of my friends are on the floor. Granado, now he shifts his attention to the next person, and like I said, I'm just in the corner, just sobbing uncontrollably, and I think that's kind of what made his focus kind of direct to me. And I see him like start to like, he just like turns his head slowly and he just like looks at me and he just starts walking, and it all kind of seemed like it was in slow motion, and I wanted to move, but I felt like I couldn't. And he just starts walking towards me. He picks up the cabbage between Ferkel's legs, and he just like starts walking towards me, and I got up and I started to run, and I almost got to the door, but he like grabbed me by the tail of my shirt collar, and he just like pulled me back. And at this point, he has me pressed up against his bed or something, and he just like immediately just starts smashing straight uncontrollably. Like, I've never passed out before, but it took like 10 hits, I think. And at that point, I just like pretended to pass out. So he would just move on to somebody else. Like, I was not worried about anybody else. I was just like, okay, I just need to act like I'm dead or something to get out of this moment, because I didn't know how long he would just keep on like hitting me, and like the whole time he's just like smashing it repeatedly into my head. It's just like the whole time I'm thinking like, wow, this is a normal day, and now it's just all gone straight to hell. So I just fall down, and unfortunately my head kind of landed in Ferkel's crotch at the time, but I had to man through it, which definitely wasn't comfortable for me. I know he definitely didn't know this, and he's probably going to figure out during this documentary, but I had to lay there for 20 minutes while he finished the others. I hear the screams of other people. I hear people like bursting through like the door, so I know some people made it out. I'm not really sure who. So I have these really bad allergies, and every once in a while it's just like sometimes I just cough randomly or something like that. It just comes out of nowhere. And so like I coughed, and he was like in the process of walking out the door, because I know I turned because I realized I made a mistake. And without even like a second hesitation, he just grabbed me by my legs and he just started like pulling me. And I was reaching for things to grab, and I know for sure at one point I was grabbing onto Ferkel, and I was dragging him with me, but I realized at that point, like, he's out cold and like he can't help me. And so he drags me into the bathroom. For some reason, he already had another Cabbage in the sink, and it's like he had actually planned to do this for a long time. And I think he realized that I was the weak link. He took my shirt off, and he just like started rubbing the Cabbage like up and down like my body, and he just like took a bite out of it. And at that point, he just like started like rubbing it slowly into my face. Luckily, at this point, Austin, who you would never really think of a guy as like to really save somebody, he bursts like through the door, and he punches Isaac straight between the eyes, and Isaac just falls back into the door, and he just collapses in a heap. And he picks me up, he brushes off the debris of the lettuce off of me, and helps me gather my things, and together we kind of gather and get Garrick, Isaac Kimball, and Ferkel and Jacob's bodies, and we kind of like get them to, and we get them out of there.
I remember seeing this really bright light out of nowhere, and I opened up my eyes, and I'm just all of a sudden just lying on a couch. I don't remember how I got there. I was really confused because practically everybody was gone, and there was just Cabbage pieces just all over the floor. I see blood kind of coming off my face a little bit, and I look over. I see Austin. He's playing Call of Duty, just sitting there minding his own business. I asked him, "Hey, bro, what the heck happened?" And he's just like, "I don't know. You tell me."
Initially, we all got a lot closer, I think. A lot of the guys stayed in my room for a little while because it just felt like a place of security, and it felt like a place where we all understood each other, especially since as much as we could share, people didn't understand, and people didn't want to understand.
And we just went to Andrew Winfield and Andrew Ferkel's room for the night, and most of us actually slept in there for the past, for like weeks after, just because we were too scared because we didn't know what Isaac would do.
Ferkel, he came up to me, and he talked about how really he was in a dark spot for a long time afterwards, and he was reclusive and just really held to himself in his dorm, and he was a really good friend of mine, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like, you do that to someone and you tear them at such a level that, you know, you can't really function afterwards.
I didn't think anybody would believe me.
So we were all really close there at the beginning. But the thing is, that's what we associate our friendship with now, is that defining moment in our friend group. And so we've just slowly developed other friend groups.
Anytime I like go to the caf and see just the salad bar, I'm like, yeah, like, what are we? Like, what are we doing?
When I see those friends, I remember that night again.
One of those things that will most likely continue to haunt me.
People started to kind of take sides in a way, because I know Garrick a lot. He like played it off as like he was just like messing around and stuff, but and several other people agreed. But the rest of us knew like that was an unhuman-like thing that happened.
Oh no, I can't even bear to look at him. Every time I close my eyes, I see his face, and it just brings me back to that night every single time.
I'm regrouping. I'm working on myself right now, and eventually I hope to maybe start talking to some of the others on a more personal level, but I just need to really just worry about myself right now.
I do have scars that can show it from the incident.
I've always been more introverted, and I just kind of poured into that part of myself, and I don't know, I stopped seeing people. I stopped leaving my dorm, focused on, I tried to pour into classwork at times, but even that didn't work. I would spend hours just staring at the wall.
I'm so sorry. It's just painful.
That demon that was in him, it's definitely still got to be there. Because I know every time that I see him in the hallways, like you can still kind of see that little, I don't know, he just has that demonic look.
I know with time there'll be healing, but now the friend group's just not the same.
So I love animals. Looking to use that in the future to really help people and help animals and really protect our wildlife.